Hello, Dr. Brant Hulsebus here, and welcome to another edition of Ask the Chiropractor. Ask the Chiropractor is my little podcast that I do. When someone has a question about chiropractic or chiropractic care, I try to answer. I'm a chiropractor here in Rockford, Illinois. I'm a proud graduate of Palmer College of Chiropractic, and I'm happy to be the team chiropractor of the Rockford Ice Hogs. Let's dive into it. Hello, welcome to another episode. Welcome to episode 9 of 12. So if you've been watching us along, you've heard me talk about different areas of chiropractic can affect your health overall, kind of a general overview of chiropractic, trying to break it down to a bunch of different episodes. This is episode 9. In this episode, I promise to talk a little bit about gut health, GI health, what's going on with your digestive system in chiropractic. Why is it when people have digestive problems, they come to my clinic here in Rockford, Illinois and get a chiropractic adjustment? I briefly hit this talking about newborn babies, and maybe a little bit last week we talked about stress and how stress works. You see, your gut, we're learning more and more, has so much more to do than just digesting lunch. During COVID, a lot of us learned about the role of the gut and the immune system. Turns out the gut and the immune system are so closely related. And as we look at things like autism and other areas of nervous system functions, we look at permeability issues where toxins are allowed to sneak through. And we know if you have a healthy gut, it's a good defense to toxins. But if you don't have a healthy gut, what they call leaky gut syndrome, you can more permeable or suspect to toxins getting into your system and wreaking havoc on you, creating autoimmune issues. So today I want to talk about the gut health and what chiropractors have to do with it. I'm going to focus on a couple areas of your spine. I'm going to start off talking about T6. This is the one that my father used to discuss every Monday night. Every Monday night, my dad did a healthcare class here to teach people about chiropractic. He didn't have social media where you could do videos or podcasts. So he had a classroom built in our office, and every Monday night, he would give a class with these giant posters he would put up and talk about things. I know when I first got here, I'm like, Dad, let's do a PowerPoint instead. It's a little more up to date. And he really knew those posters pretty good, but he did do a PowerPoint. He actually worked with Palmer College to take his slides that he did, the paper slides, and turn it into an actual presentation. So he had switched over to that, but he did this Monday night forever. Today we use channels like this to do the exact same thing my father always did. And he always talked about heartburn and digestion. See, between your shoulders, you have a vertebrae called your 6th thoracic vertebrae, T6. And T6 has nerves that come out, most of us, that go directly to our stomach. And when we eat something, our stomach knows exactly how much acid to make because we've had it before. And our brain learns what we're eating and knows how to digest it. So it goes in your mouth, the nerve in your mouth senses what you're eating, tells the brain, hey, we're having ham and cheese sandwich. And the brain says, oh, we've had that before. And it sends a signal down your spine to T6, and T6 goes to your stomach and controls how much stomach acid you make. This is why the first time you eat something, you might get an upset stomach because your body doesn't really know what to do with it yet. But the more times you eat it, the easier it is to digest. So the signal goes from our mouth to our brain down to spinal cord to the stomach. If you have a subluxation at T6, meaning that the T6 vertebrae is under stress or misaligned, and it's telling the body something's wrong here, so it locks it up to protect it. And there's chemicals that get released that tell those muscles to lock up and keep it protected so it doesn't get any more messed up. And those chemicals hit the muscles around there, lock it up, make it tight. That's where you get that pain between your shoulder blades. But those chemicals also go down the nerve root into the stomach and tell the stomach we're under stress. Now, a stomach under stress has to respond one way and only one way, maybe two ways. One, you can either expel everything in your stomach and you vomit. You ever been really stressed out, felt nauseous? You know what I'm talking about then. The other thing it'll do is it'll overproduce stomach acid. If it doesn't know how much to make, it'll make too much. If you were living in the wild and you didn't make enough stomach acid, the food would always come back up and eventually you'd starve to death. So as a fail-proof mechanism, it's better to make too much and not make enough. And you overproduce the stomach acid and that results in heartburn and digestion. Now there's heartburn you get because your health is bad, and there's heartburn you get because you eat bad. This doesn't affect the one that I eat bad. If I just had I saw these cheeseburgers with donuts for the bun with bacon and all kinds of sloppy stuff on them. If you think that's heartburn, your body says, what are you eating? And it gets really mad at you. But if you're getting heartburn and other things like GERD and stuff like that, you don't really know why because you're eating good. It could be because of a T6 subluxation. Now, again, we don't have an adjustment for heartburn. We have an adjustment that fixes your T6, which helps the nerve flow to your stomach, which makes your stomach healthier. In return, the heartburn and indigestion should go away if that was the cause. Now, another area where people come to us a lot now is bowel issues, constipation, irritable bowel. They come to see us all the time for this. And if you watched the previous episode, I believe it was episode 7, when I talked about pediatrics take care of kids, a lot of kids come to see us, little babies, and the mom will tell us they haven't had a bowel in a couple of days. And I always say, hey, if you're in Rockford, Illinois, and your pediatrician tells you something you don't like and you want another opinion, come see the chiropractor. So moms will bring the little babies in and they'll tell us the baby hasn't had a bowel in 2 or 3 days, and I'll adjust the baby's hips and the baby instantly has a bowel. So let's talk about that. What's going on there? Even to have a bowel, it takes nerves. Nerves have to speed it up or slow it down. If you have a subluxation in where your thoracic spine, your lower ribs, and your upper lumbars come together, those directly innervate the small intestines and the colon. If we adjust you really good there sometimes, I'll even tell you, hey, I don't know what your plans are, but the area I just adjusted you can create you to have a bowel movement, so you can plan ahead. Very common. Very common right after we adjust somebody, they have that situation. So if you have constipation or irritable bowel, sometimes a trip to the chiropractor can make a big difference. So we adjust the other area. The other area, of course, is your pelvic bones. If those areas are misaligned, same thing can happen. A lot of times we put people on their sides, we adjust them, and we see them do a 2-step, but they want to get out of the room with us because we know what's going on. So we graciously let them leave because we know what's about to happen. So we usually get some pretty fast results with that, sometimes faster than some people like, but nevertheless, we tend to get good results with that. Now, why is this so important? We talked about it. It doesn't matter how good of food you eat, how good your diet is. If you can't absorb it and take the nutrition in, what's the point? So as chiropractors, we're able to give you those adjustments to help your GI system work properly and functional, so that way you can absorb the food you eat, get the nutrition you get. Think about that. Think about if you're not getting the nutrition you want to get, because even though you eat good, but your GI system's off, and it's going through you too quick or too slow, you can't absorb the things you need to absorb. And so what happens? You become internally inflamed. And internally inflamed somebody is hyperinflammatory, meaning all the little aches and pains become big aches and pains. And so if your diet's off, your whole system's off. And if you can't absorb your diet, even if you're eating it right, then you can't get the good stuff out of your diet, and you become chronically inflamed. And every little ache and pain becomes a big ache and pain. Every little pinch here, a little lower back problem here becomes bigger issues. And so when you get the chiropractic adjustment and we restore the nervous system going into your GI system, all of a sudden we have this huge change and your body starts to health, to heal, and get better. So if you've been having these GI problems, if you know someone that does have massive GI problems, usually what we'll do, I know if you come to my clinic here in Rockford, we'll do an exam. We'll see how that T6 feels. We'll feel how that lower back pelvis combination works. We'll have you lift a leg, twist this leg, bend and twist this way, bend and twist that way. We'll take some x-rays of your spine. It's always good to look under the hood and see what's going on. So we'll take some x-rays of your spine to see what's under the hood. We'll see what the misalignments are. And if we see these misalignments and we see these problems, a lot of times we can point them out to you and we can help you. Again, we don't treat these things. We treat the subluxation. By getting rid of the subluxation and improving the subluxation, we improve the nervous system function, and turn the body starts to function better. And over time, you heal and correct, and you get healthier. Also, if you didn't hear me talk about kids with the constipation, go back and listen to episode 7. I dive in deeper. But if you have a little kid with bowel issues, please get them to come see us. It's so important to these kids because their nervous system's still developing and growing and maturing. And for them to be hyperinflamed during this process, it could be really, really detrimental. So please get those kids in right away. We can take big adjustments. So if you tried your probiotics, you tried your prebiotics, you tried your postbiotics, you've tried eating better, you tried changing your diet, you tried doing different things, different GI specialists, you continue to struggle, come see a chiropractor. What do you got to lose? Again, the chiropractor should be able to show you through examinations and x-ray evaluations whether or not you'd be a candidate. So if these are issues you're having, go see a chiropractor. Now, remember, you can ask a GI specialist. You can ask your family doctor if you should go see a chiropractor for these things, but they're not educated on what chiropractors do or how a chiropractor could help. So asking them, you're probably going to get a don't go there or I wouldn't do that if I was you, because they just don't know. So only person qualified to answer that question is a chiropractor. If you don't want to take my word for it, go to chiropractic.org. That's our national association. From there, you can find all kinds of research papers and data. Go to PubMed, P-U-B-M-E-D. Google search it. You'll find all kinds of articles about chiropractic and how it's helped people. So don't suffer, don't be sick, and don't allow your GI problems to become immune system problems, inflammatory problems, and everything else. Go see a chiropractor, see if the chiropractor can help you. I hope that helps us. I talked about kids. It's important when you age, too. People under chiropractic care tend to age better, tend to do better overall. So if you're worried about how you're going to feel when you're older, what's going to happen to my body as I age, I come back next week in episode 10. We're going to talk about how to age healthy at a chiropractic clinic. We got some fun things to talk about in that episode, especially if you don't even want degenerative joint disease or degenerative disc disease. I'm going to tell you how it's not really a disease. I'll talk to you next week. Thank you.